Well, my friends, Pastor Michael here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. What I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be talking about chapter 5 in my journey after I seen God. And we're going to get started in this video right after these short messages. Well, as you can tell from that introduction clip that I put in there, this is a journey of my life after I seen God. This is important for people to understand this. You know, in my near-death event, I talked about seeing God and going to the gates of heaven and what that meant in my life. In the last episode, chapter 4 of this video book, I talked about my responsibilities for my position as a chaplain for Cowboys for Christ. Well, life continues to grow as a chaplain for Cowboys for Christ, but I want to talk about my new home. My new home was located on a little ranch at about a 40-acre place north of Scottsbluff, Nebraska. So what I like to do is I like to share a little video on basically the direction of where I went from Scottsbluff to get to my little ranch. And we're going to do that with Google Maps as a record that journey that I took. A couple of significant things that I want to talk about is north. That's the direction from my hometown that I went to go to the ranch. So north on a map is an arrow that faces up. So this is an indication that this was God's design. And also going down the county road to the property, I lived down on County Road G, and on a light post there was a capital G that was white, and that indicated that that was County Road G. So let's take a little tour on Google Earth as I show you the path to get to this ranchette. Well, I like showing this location on the map because it shows kind of the vicinity of where it's at. So you're looking at the northern east edge of Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And this is the Sugar Factory Road that my cursor is on. This is going to be important because it's going to open up into a full-time ministry that God had asked me to do. So right now we're heading north out of town. And as I pull my cursor down, it shows you the area where I went. This is the Tri-State Ditch. It's a big canal ditch. More farm ground. We're going to get to County Road G here in a little bit. This intersection right here is County Road G. And on a light pole right down here was that capital letter G. So then we go this way. On the property is right here. It's right where my cursor's at. So my property that I owned was next to a junkyard, and this property had 4,000 trees on it. Okay, so basically my property was this area right here. So I'm following the cursor, and it came clear up to this point right here and across, and then it followed this fence line right here and back again. So there's a barn right here that represents the barn that's on my wall, on my mural. This was the house that I built, and this is a barn that was built. We're going to talk about this a little later, but you can tell that there are a lot of trees on this place. This was a riding arena that I had built, and right in this area you can see there was a Circle Corral. I don't want to zoom in on this because I just want you to see the outline of the property that I owned. that God gave me as a gift. Okay, so I think what I want to do is just go to Street View a little bit and see if we can't walk down in there a little bit. And you can tell that this is a very, very highly maintained area. But this is the house that I was awarded by God to build. So this gives you a little bit closer view. That's the barn that I was talking about. So it's a pretty cool place. So we're going to talk about this place here in a little bit more depth. Okay, I'll be right back. Well, my friends, I want to talk about the ranch house for a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a picture up on the screen here next to me. This is a picture that you can see that is the home that was built, and you can see that the looks of the juniper trees there. This other picture is a more of a exposed look of the house. You can tell that there's a gabled roof porch over that, and there's a walkout basement. We're going to talk about all this in a little bit. What I like to do now is I like to put the picture on the screen with the mural that I did, so you can tell that they're actually identical. And later on in this video book, I'm going to tell you why they're identical and why I put the mural on the wall that I did. Hold on, let's go look at that. And now you can see why the mural on the wall is a duplicate of that ranch house. Let's put those side by side or in the same picture so you can see kind of why I did what I did. So you can see both of those images side by side now. Well, my friends, there's a little bit of a significant story behind this ranch house. And I think what I'm going to do while I'm talking to you is I'm just going to put the picture on the screen so you can kind of visually look at what I'm talking about here as well. So you can tell on this picture here that the walkout basement is built into a lower courtyard. So we had to dig a lot of excavation dirt out of there in order to build that lower level. The upper level is level, so you can walk right out the front door off of the porch there. When we built this home, the guy that did the excavation work dug it all out for me and put a drain tile field in so the water would drain away from that lower courtyard. And there was just a couple inches difference, maybe about a 3-foot difference between where this courtyard homestead is at and where the drain field is at. It's going to be some significant information that I'm going to be giving you down the road in this video book. But what I want to talk about is when he got ready to backfill, all we did is we had a block wall built on the back side and also on that side of the house that you see there. And he decided, because I purchased a double wide trailer house from a trailer distribution company in the town where I lived, and so I needed to put it on top of the basement. So he backfilled the basement area where those two concrete walls are at, and then the walls started to crack and it started to break and bow inwards. And so I had to call him and have him come back and dig it out. And then we put dead man anchors in there. So basically about 8 different locations on that basement, on that back wall there, we drilled a hole about that big, and we put a piece of rebar in there and an eye bolt with a metal washer, and then a 20-foot piece of rebar, and bent it around a cement block, and then the excavator pounded that rebar. We dug a hole and he pounded that concrete on that rebar back into the dirt bank to keep it from caving in. We did that on the west side of that retaining wall as well. And I was kind of forced into building the wood walls around there to keep it from caving in. So I built the east wall out of the wood, and then the full northern exposure was built out of wood as well. And so you got two concrete walls that were 10 feet tall and two wooden walls that are also 10 feet tall. And so that became the lower level of this home. And at the time of building this home, it was unfinished in the lower level. Had to get the outside finished for the winter hit. And this home was purchased October 20th. We purchased the ground, and it had 40 acres on it, as you can see from the little tour that I gave you. So we were in this house by Christmas time, and I had my first Christmas with my family in this house. I was single and divorced at this time when I built this house, and I built this house thinking that the wife that I divorced would win favor with me if I gave her the ranch house that we dreamed about with the horses. And so you can tell that it's a pretty nice place. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more in an upcoming videos, and what this ranch house meant to me and the ministry that God had me do at this place. We're going to do that a little bit later in the next video in this series. Until then, my friends, may God bless you. May his face shine upon you, and may Jesus always bring you joy. Don't forget to check out my Wednesday videos. I do scripture readings on the commands of Jesus Christ. If we're going to get to know who Jesus is and how he works in our life, we need to know what those commands are. So my friends, join me in this next Wednesday's video as I do some more readings on the commands from Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching my video.